So for today's video, I have a big announcement, or should I say announcements, plural, more than one, that I want to talk to all of you about. However, before I do, full disclosure, this video here is not going to be for everybody. I'm not doing my typical normal news or commentary where we talk about the conundrums that are going on in the cruise world. There aren't any today. Well, there are, but we'll talk about it another day. This video is going to be more so dedicated to the people that follow and support this channel, have been following me for a while, and want to stay up to date on what's going on, I guess more so behind the scenes, and I hope you guys receive this news well. I am going to be as straightforward, transparent, and organic as I possibly can in this video. That way it alleviates the possibility of any confusion as far as what is said, what's going to happen in the future. So no jokes, no funny videos and pictures, no crazy jump cuts, just me being open and honest with all of you. With that said, first up on the docket, this is a smaller piece of news, but big in its own right. This weekend, I had initially planned, as I booked a flight to fly to New Orleans, and booked a cruise on board the Norwegian Breakaway cruise ship to check out their solo cabins, their accommodations, as Norwegian does plan on adding a lot more solo cabins on their cruise ships this year. Very exciting as I travel solo a lot. However, as of yesterday, I canceled my flight, canceled my cruise, because I will be replacing that cruise for this weekend for a much bigger ship, a much newer ship, a much more expensive ship. The first video of me being on this ship that, well, I can't put the name out just yet. We gotta keep things exciting. It will be on my other channel, Jay the Nomad. I'll put a vlog of me boarding said ship, and it should be a very interesting video. The only people that know what's going on at this point in time as far as my future plans and my travels that are coming up are my channel members and my Patreon members. You can subscribe to either one of those for as low as $2 a month. Shameless plug, I know. However, I wanted to get that appetizer, if you will, out of the way. Now, on to the main entree and the reason that I'm making this video. As I'm going over this big news, I do apologize in advance, as like I said, I will be as organic as possible, so there may be some slip-ups here and there, but I'm going to try my best to get all of this out clear and concise as possible. I'm also going to be providing some context and backstory and kind of opening up a little bit for all of you, because I do believe that it is important, that way you guys understand the reasoning as to why I'm making the decision that I'm making. So first of all, today has been a very emotional day for me, as today marks 2 years that my dad passed away from stage 4 lung cancer. Now, the thing about my dad is that I loved him more than anything on this earth, but he and I didn't exactly see eye to eye. He was never supportive of me working in theme parks as a dancer, never supportive of me working for the Harlem Globetrotters, at least up until I got promoted to international tour manager, and definitely didn't support me working on cruise ships. However, I understood, because my dad was very old school. He was 80 when he passed away, and he came from a different time in the world, and I had a very rough upbringing. I had to wear leg braces when I was a kid, yes, like a Black Forrest Gump, and I had very bad speech problems. I would stutter, and I had a really bad lisp, had to take classes for speech, and well, it was rough. So for me to go into a dancer and talking on the mic and all that, my dad didn't support it until this YouTube channel. Actually, he ended up in the end watching every single one of my videos that I would post, and I appreciated him for it. Towards the end of his life, when he was in a nursing home, he would not stop telling me how proud he was of me, that I have become famous, and he would tell all of his friends that he has a famous son, which I really appreciated. I'm not famous, but it really meant a lot to me to hear that. My dad was saying this, of course, due to the fact that I had built this YouTube channel. And as many of you know, when it comes to YouTube, if you're able to provide value, if you work hard and do things right, you can make a pretty decent living on just one YouTube channel. Because of what I had built here on YouTube as far as the community and trying my best to give value to all of you, I was able to not only take care of a lot of my dad's bills when he got sick, I gave myself and him the time to spend time with him, take him to all of his doctor's appointments whenever my other family members couldn't, and he really appreciated that, and it meant the world to me. When he did pass on January 17th, 2 years ago, I promised him that I would be as successful as I possibly can be, and I do believe there are so many factors when it comes to the idea of success. It's not about money and notoriety. I want to be able to be with my family and have the time to do what I want, and that of course is travel and be able to give value to people, because I like doing so. I take that back. I don't like it. I absolutely love it. Being able to help whoever I can, and just being able to be around people, because I am a very social person. When it comes to this YouTube channel, it has been 4 long years of grinding and spending a lot of money on travel that I couldn't even have imagined that I would have as an adult. Most of you know that my channel kind of started to rise into prominence, or whatever you want to call it, back during the pandemic. At that time, I was getting ready to quit. I had no idea what I was going to be doing. And then I started talking about the pandemic and the cruise ship shutdown. I told everybody that there was going to be a suspension. Nobody believed it, but when it happened and I kept talking about it, obviously it started to kind of work in my favor. And I wasn't trying to be negative. I was just trying to let people know and give them a heads up, which a lot of crew members especially and some passengers thank me for, because they weren't aware that something could have potentially happened like what happened during the big shutdown of the pandemic. I believe it was what, like 18 months. Sorry for this long story, but getting to the point here, over the past 2 years, I have spent, I kid you not, hundreds of thousands of my own money, which is still crazy to say because I never would have even imagined, I can't even fathom the idea that I would have that kind of money as an adult. I used most of it for travel. I believe last year alone, I hate to admit it, but I believe within like a 9 month time frame, I spent $137,000 on travel of my own money, which, yeah, you can argue it's taxable, but the money is still gone. Nevertheless, in my mind, jumping from cruise ship to cruise ship, I've been on a lot of ships. I sail on a lot of ships at this point in time. I keep asking myself, what is the next logical step? My son is a teenager now. My family, they want to spend more time with me. I want to spend more time with them. And with what I do, considering that I pay for 95, maybe even more of my cruises, it is difficult for me to get to that point where I alleviate that stress of having to work to recuperate that money that I had spent versus also trying to enjoy myself. And I kept asking myself, how can, to be honest with all of you, I not spend over $100,000 a year in travel, but also get to a point to where I can give myself the time to spend time with my family and all of my loved ones that I want to truly enjoy what I have created here on YouTube. The biggest point of concern for me also was how I was going to give value to all of you, because if it wasn't for all of you supporting the channel, because I'm able to give all of you value and we've all created this really cool community, this wouldn't be happening. So in my mind, I say to myself, if I continue just jumping on cruise ships alone a lot of the time, what is going to be the end game here? Just travel, 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 and watch time just go by? Because every time I come home, I gotta play catch up, and it's very it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into that kind of lifestyle. Anyway, last week I made a video about Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas and told you guys that I had canceled my reservation and that I weren't going, and I explained why. Primarily, I told you guys that these ships, they're getting very, very expensive. I believe it was around $9,000, give or take, to sail on Icon of the Seas. Whether I have the money or not is irrelevant. That's a lot of moolah to dish up for 1 week's time. I said that I was either going to start playing the casino to get the points, or I was going to become a travel agent. When I tell all of you the amount of emails and DMs and Instagram messages that I got from travel agencies saying they want to sign me on, they'll give me proper training, and they'll give me deals and sponsorships was absolutely insane. I haven't seen all of them because a lot of them are just kind of just sitting in junk, or they're sitting wherever else, but I appreciated that. I really did. However, I have made the decision overall to talk with a travel agency, and we have, as of yesterday, well, 2 days ago, signed a contract. Now, all of this is very simple. I am at this point going to start the process to become an official certified travel agent. Now, a lot of you are probably asking, what does that mean for the channel? Are you going to stop making videos? How are you going to juggle between the two? I'm going to be just trying to gain as much knowledge as I can as far as a travel agent is concerned, because that is a whole nother side, a whole nother basket or wealth of knowledge that I can now tap into, as well as being able to have access to other sides of the industry, which I'm really appreciative of. As far as the booking myself, I'm only going to give myself what I can handle when that time comes and I get certified, which will probably be in another week to 2 weeks. It is a rather rapidly growing travel agency, and I'm excited for this partnership. I'm excited to embark on this new journey and next chapter in my life, and I really hope that all of you will be supportive of this decision. To sum all of this up and close this video out, I want to first promise all of you that I am not going to turn into some kooky, sleazy salesman that is going to pitch the travel agency to you every chance that I get. I will plug it into the comments. I'll plug it in the description. And if there is something going on like a cruise or a pre-cruise or anything like that going on that does involve the travel agency that I am associated with, of course, naturally, there will be a small plug-in, or at the very least, there's going to be a plug-in at the end of the video, which I hope all of you are okay with. I also promise to not change my content style outside of normal growth. I've always thought of my content as casually professional. I've made it very clear with the travel agency that I sign with that I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what I want, as I always have been when it comes to my content. Whether somebody thinks it is negative or bashing the cruise lines, I've never thought it as such. I'm in full support of the industry. And I do want to kind of prove that by gaining my knowledge and becoming a travel agent. That way I can continue to provide value for all of you as well as the industry. Naturally, with this announcement as well, this will allow me to have more options as far as hotel stays and better options on cruise ships, maybe more on the luxurious side and exotic side, taking maybe less trips, but more with a meaning and purpose, if that makes sense. But we will have to see how all of this plays out. I just want to say that I do mean it when I say I love and appreciate every single one of you, because all of you have changed my life in more ways than I could possibly explain. I'm not trying to get emotional on here, and I try to just kind of make sure I stick to the formula of giving all of you value here on this channel. But this is a large step, and I think it is the most logical step, whether I become a full-time travel agent, which I have no intention of doing whatsoever. I just want to help out as best I can and gain the knowledge, and yeah, be able to gain access to the pre-cruises and other options that are out there in the world. But like I said, we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. Take it easy.